crowded street, Little Italy. Hangs with his pals, yeah, that's where he'll be. It's Vinny, a friend of mine. Stand-up guy from the Lower East Side. Take it from me, he's one of a kind. It's Vinny Valentine.
Who's better than you?
That's great. You know, I just love the new intro, and first of all, I always like to introduce my co-host, Mariana. She's the best.
Hi, Vinny.
And
hello
hi,
to our
hello.
audience. Welcome,
Yeah,
everyone.
right, yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, great audience.
We do.
Normally we would have a much bigger audience.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just that between.
It's not the size that matters. Just saying.
Keep my mouth shut. You see that? All right.
Sorry, Vinny.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. You know, we went out to eat about a week or two ago, and Scott is always watching when I mean, don't eat this, don't eat that.
He's
don't
a
eat
very
this.
good friend.
And then she said to me, on camera, she goes, well, from now on, I'm going to stay on top of you. And all I did
but
was,
I didn't mean it in that
well,
way.
no,
It just
I know that. I know that. But you always put your foot in your mouth, in your own mouth, and then you look at me, and then you smack me. I didn't. Anyway, but that's another story. Anyway. Tonight we have a great guest today.
We do.
And,
You've been looking forward to this for a long time.
I have been, and she's been a friend of mine for the longest time. And this restaurant in Little Italy.
in the heart of Little Italy.
In the heart of Little Italy. Correct. It's called Angelo's, and that has been there about 108 years.
Yeah.
And my father actually had a fish market right around the corner from that, between Grant and Hester, right in the middle of the block, Louis Fish Market. But you wouldn't remember that because you're a baby. See that? Am I a charmer?
Oh, you are.
All right.
Nobody doubts that one.
All right. But anyway, so this restaurant has been there for the longest time. And so I've been trying to get this one girl, which I'm going to introduce to you in a moment, and she's one of the owners. See that? I might not always remember, but I never forget. And she's one of the owners of Angelo's restaurant in Little Italy between Grand and Hester. The food in there is excellent. It's superb. It's the best. And you know what I had? Oh, first of all, let me introduce her. Give her a nice hand, Tina.
Tia, a prayer.
All right. You know what I recently?
Thank you so much.
Do you know what I recently had in there? I think it was the last time I was there, or the time before that. I came in with Nick. The calamari was they're like pretzel sticks or something. Was that calamari?
No, you had the octopus.
Oh, the octopus.
Grilled octopus
grilled
in a port
octopus.
wine.
And what?
In a port wine sauce.
Well, this restaurant is known for its Neapolitan cuisine,
Yes.
South Italian cuisine.
Oh, man,
Correct.
that was almost as good as. Well, I'll keep my mouth shut. I didn't mean that either. It was great. I know what you're thinking. It was excellent.
Thank you.
It was a grilled octopus.
Grilled octopus alla griglia.
Alegria.
Yeah, well, that was the first time I had that there.
Yeah, it's one of the newest ones, newest additions. But I figured for the summer it'd be very nice to add a little, fish to the menu rather than the heavy Neapolitan sauce that we usually.
Now, is that mostly Neapolitan food?
Yes.
Because I'm Neapolitan. I'm Neapolitan in Barese.
Yes.
My mother's Neapolitan, my father's Barese. So I'm half and half. But that food, it's just so great. Now, you're not always in there, are you? No.
Well, no, I work with my dad, Giovanni Aprea, which, he brought me aboard 22 years ago. He's like, instead of going to college, you're going to go to College of Angelos.
College of Southern Italian cuisine.
Exactly. But my dad, he used to be a chef there, and then he bought it 45 years ago. And ever since then.
He bought it 45 years ago?
45 years ago, he used to be
Okay.
a chef.
But when it first opened in 1902, it was the Silvestri and the Aprea family who were the proprietors of the.
No, it was actually, I call him Mr. Angelo. Mr. and Mrs. Angelo owned the restaurant.
I see.
Mr. Angelo passed away in the early 60s. Mrs. Angelo then ran the restaurant. But I
You
think,
get me all confused now. Who's Mrs. Angelo? Is that your mom?
no,
No.
we bought it from Angelo.
Oh,
I
I'm-
see.
We bought into Angelo's of Mulberry Street.
My medicine's kicking in on me.
Stay focused.
Go ahead.
But what's interesting is Mrs. Angelo's ran the restaurant.
Right.
She did it for a couple of years. So I think Angelo's is born to have a woman proprietor.
There you go.
And she finally had enough, and she loved my father to death, and she made a proposal to my dad, and my dad and my uncle took it over in 1969.
I see.
1969. Wow.
And you took over 22 years ago, as far as
Being married to the business
Being married
and
to
learning the business and working
Now,
forward.
you what exactly do you do there? You like keep an eye on
I front
everybody?
house.
And
I front house. I make sure that the waiters are doing their jobs, the busboys are cleaning up, the chefs are keeping the food consistent.
you do a hell of a job because I watch you all the time. Your eyes are constantly on them. I even when I say hello, it's because it's hi, Vinny.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people say that I could have a conversation with my customers and I could turn around and be like, no, don't do that. And they're like, how do you know that's happening behind you? It's
women
kinda
have
like,
eyes behind their
I
heads.
could hear the
It's true,
conversation the
yeah.
bartender's having with somebody. I'm like, don't talk like that. Be nice. You know, it's just you pick up on it
Of
from
course,
experience
for
and
so
just being
long.
there. I was there a baby. I used to run around like a child in that restaurant, torment everybody.
Now, how often are you there?
I'm there right now about 5 days a week.
Wow. You off on weekends or something?
No, the weekends is when I really have to work. Like
Oh, I
today, I'm
see.
off.
Okay.
Yay! And the restaurant.
What days are you there then?
I'm
I mean, what
there-
days are you off?
I'm usually off Sunday, Mondays because we're closed. Tuesday.
Mondays are closed in
Yes.
there. I never knew that.
The only time we're open on Mondays is after Thanksgiving through New Year's Eve
So for
Okay.
the holiday
for the
season.
holidays. I'm usually off Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Monday and Tuesday, okay. I just want to know, so I know when to come in and say hello.
They're Wednesday through Saturday.
To make sure Tina's present.
Oh, well, that's great. Oh, wow. I've got to bring Mariana there.
Absolutely. I've never
Oh, that would be
been.
great.
I've
You
never been. I mean,
Well,
of course, I've been to Little Italy, but I've never been to Angelo's.
Well,
And
we'll
after
go-
reading
we'll go to
about
Angelo's.
it,
We'll go to Angelo's one
absolutely.
night. Well, you know, we have another Italian restaurant that we go to, but that's like uptown. It's has nothing to do with Little Italy, and that's De Marino's.
Oh, Dan Marino, the football player.
A lot of people say that, but it
It's
isn't.
not.
No, it's
But
Oh,
not.
it sounds
It's
like,
not.
right?
It is. It's,
You would
yeah,
think
Dan
that.
Marino, but this is Don Marino's, yeah.
This is De Marino's on 49th Street between 8th Avenue and Broadway, and there they have it's like a piano bar. They play the saxophone and
Oh, that's nice.
the bongos and they sing. The waiters come out. The chef sings. I sometimes I figure who the hell's cooking because the chef is always out there.
Everybody's out and
singing.
about interacting,
And let me ask you something. It's
socializing.
definitely not a Neapolitan cuisine, right?
No, I think it's Sicilian.
Yeah, because in
Yeah.
Neapolitan, you don't have all that. We have screaming and yelling. And it's like old school. It's like, where are you going with that plate? And who are you doing over there? And what's going on over here? And so it's,
So
That's
when
very
I'm not in
different.
Little Italy, that's where I brought Mariana up there. And when I'm down in Little Italy, you know, I come in there with Nick,
yes.
you know,
The crew.
and you know, but being that they all know me around there, so I have to like somewhat patronize to some of these places.
Absolutely.
I go
Of
in one place, have a cappuccino, have an espresso, have an appetizer, you know.
But that's
wh-
nice.
Where I really like to eat is in Angelo's.
Thank
You know, the food is excellent in there.
Thank
You
you.
know, and we're gonna come down and see. Tell us some more.
Yeah, what do you think is so special about this restaurant to be going for so long? I mean, over 100 years is a long, long time.
Well, what I like to tell people is consistency in the food. You know, we're very on top of our sauces, our chefs, and we like to keep everybody there forever. In fact, my chef has been there for 27 years.
Wow.
Your what?
My chefs have
Yourself. Oh,
The
Chefs.
chefs have been there for 27
The
The
years.
chefs.
The chefs
Oh, okay.
have been there for 27 years.
So they know the
Absolutely.
authenticity of this
Absolutely,
food. Yeah.
the work. Some of my waiters have been there longer than I've been there, like for 35 years, 40 years.
So it's become a family in a
Well,
way.
yeah, we're one big funky bunch. You know, it's like you're married to the work, and
Yeah.
you know, it's keeping everything steady, calm, and again, the food, the family atmosphere. Like you come in, anybody can come in. Like Mariana, you'll walk in and you'll be like, okay. By the end of the night, you'll be kissing everybody. Oh my God, I feel like I know you forever. You know, we try to
Oh,
keep
she
it.
does that no matter where she goes.
We try
I'll
to
just
keep
have
it
more of
real.
an incentive to keep it going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We try to keep it real.
Well,
That's
it is.
wonderful.
It is. And it's such a comfortable and I love the atmosphere. I like the people, the waiters. And like, as soon as you're done with something, I mean, boom, they take that dish away from you. And if you have a little left in there, you gotta guard it.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess part of the consistency is the service, because whenever you go to a restaurant, you also expect not only really high quality food, but you also expect the service to be in equal balance. in a sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's important. And also what's also important is some of the restaurants that are out there, they don't have the bosses on 24/7.
Right.
And you can't run a business without being there. Cameras can only do so much, managers can only do so much, the bosses have to go there. I don't really go on vacations. I was actually on vacation in November. My father broke his foot, calls me up, you have to come home. I was coming home the next day. He was like, no, you have to come home today. You can't leave the restaurant alone.
Huh.
Call the airlines, get on the phone, and you know what, but he's right.
Now, your father's always in there, correct?
He was there for a very long time, but now he's pulling back a little bit.
That's not the guy with the white shirt, is he?
No, that's Antoine, the maitre d'. He's been there for 44 years.
Oh, my
He's my
goodness.
uncle.
Like not very tall, little stocky.
He always wears the shirts on the outside, screaming out, like, if you have a reservation, Vinny, you'll be like, Vinny, I have 5 people at 8 o'clock. Yeah, you're not in the book. Like he argued, look,
Okay.
your name is not here. Your name is not, and I nudge him. I'm like, okay, but you could just say your name is not here, but we could take care of you.
Yeah, okay.
But, you know, the Neapolitan, like, you didn't call, like, I'm always right, you're wrong.
Tina, do you speak Italian?
I speak Napolitan.
Do you really?
Yes, it's my first language.
Wow. So do I.
And that's
So
the
do I.
one thing that I like to keep in the restaurant. We speak Italian, we speak Napolitan, we speak more Neapolitan than in English.
Your
in the
parents,
restaurant.
were they born here or there?
No, they were born in Naples.
They were born in Naples. And they're both Napolitan.
Yes.
They're both Neapolitan.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Well, that's the funny story. Sorry to interrupt you. The women came to America. See, my mother, my aunt, and my other aunt brought the boys, because my father has a partner, Gino Silvestri. And Antoine, which is the maitre d', married 3 sisters. So you know how the crazy Neapolitan family is. So when the restaurant was doing great and the husbands were making more money and, you know, they were like, how you doing? So the women would be like, don't forget who brought you to America. The ladies.
There you go.
You would have nothing if we
That's
didn't
right.
come
For the
to
ladies.
Italy to marry you.
All right. All right, you got that there. The lady.
The ladies.
The ladies.
Okay. Now, so they spoke very little English then.
0 English.
So they spoke to you in Italian, and you would answer them back in English?
Nope, in Italian.
In
That's
Italian.
wonderful.
In fact, I didn't speak English when I went to school.
That's great. Because it's an asset for you to have the two
Exactly.
languages.
And I grew up in Bensonhurst, and back then, 40 years ago, Bensonhurst was all Italian. So it didn't even, I didn't have neighbors or kids that spoke English either.
So it wasn't even a question.
No, it's
That
like you
was it.
lived in Italy, but in New York. It was crazy.
Well, my mother was born in Naples, and my father was actually born on Hester Street, between Mulberry. But his parents took him back to Italy when he was 9 months old, and he didn't come back here until he was 17. So he was an American citizen over there.
Oh, wonderful.
So when they came here, they used to speak Italian to us, and we used to answer them back in English.
English.
So this is how we would learn, you know, the language back and forth. And I'll never forget, you know, one time I brought this female friend of mine over the house, and she was a black waitress. And she was just a female friend of mine, but she was now, I don't remember, was one of her parents were white. And when my mother, I said, we have to stop at my mother's house just for a moment. I got to get something. So when I walked in with her, and my mother looked at her, and she looked at me, and I won't repeat what she said.
Oh boy.
Imagine.
But I could say it somewhat in English and keep it kosher. Like, where the hell did you get this one from? And the girl said, "What did she say?" I said, "She loves the way you dress." You
Oh,
know? And I had to keep, and then she kept saying, "Yeah, I hope you're not gonna stay here and eat with this one now." And she said, "What did she say now?" I said, "She loves, she wants to know where you had your hair done." You know? And then finally, with a straight face and with a smile on my face, I said, "Mom, would you shut the hell up?" You know?
so that's where the acting began.
That's
Your
what-
acting career,
That's
that's where
right.
it began.
Yes.
That's where it started.
Somebody wound you up tonight. No, my acting actually started with my first marriage. That's where it
Oh,
started.
boy.
I'm married.
Boy. Oh, boy.
I'm married 3 times. And I kept saying, that's it, the first one. The second one, my mother and father did. My first wife was Jewish. They didn't like her. The second wife, I wasn't a pervert, but I was 33 years old.
Where is this going?
Yeah.
I said something wrong.
No, keep going.
I was 33
Yeah,
years
he's
old,
telling it
and
like
she
it
was
is.
18. And she was 6'1" with no shoes on.
Oh, boy.
And she used to tell me, "Will, you know, when we go out, I wear flats." I said, "No, wear spikes." And when we first went to my mother's house, my mother and father's house, because we got married by justice of the peace, any other mother would have said, "Oh, hello, how are you? What's your name? Welcome to my house." You know, my mother was like an Archie Bunker, you know. And as soon as when we walked in together, the first thing my mother said to us, "Don't you feel as stupid when you're walking down the street with us? You're so tall, they've been so short."
That's exactly what they talk.
And she looked at me, she goes, "Is she serious?" I said, "Don't mind her. She's gone." You know? And then we were supposed to, we were eating there that day. She goes, "Please, you gotta do me a bigger favor. Don't sit it together. You sit over there, you sit over there, and don't stand up at the same time." I said, "All right." So then I said, after that marriage, that didn't last very long. First one was 5 years, second one was 17 months. And then I said, "No, it's not gonna happen again. That's it. I've had it." And
That wasn't the end of the
then it happened
story.
again. Then it happened again. But I'll tell you, now I will say it could never happen again. And if it ever did happen again, which I don't think, I'm not
there
gonna
he
say-
goes.
I'm
I
not
don't
gonna say
think
that.
to know.
If it ever did happen again, you know what it would be? A good-looking guy with lipstick this way could smack the shit out of him if he bothers me. You know? If they get out of line, she can't touch them, you know. But anyway, that's the end of that one. But anyway, so you
Back to
speak me apart-
Angelo's.
what?
Back to Angelo's.
Back to someone. You want to know something? Someone wound her up tonight because she's not as frisky as she did.
It's frisky.
She did. Was it Mom?
No, of
No.
course not.
Okay. So please tell me more. So at least when I know when I come in, I can speak Neapolitan to you.
Absolutely.
There you go.
You were talking before about your sauces. You actually distribute them all over the country, don't you?
Yes,
People
we
buy
do.
the specific sauces that you create.
Yes,
There's
we
some food on
started.
here.
We started bottling sauces. We do braciole, marinara, and spicy marinara. It's very good. I love it. It's actually pretty good. The only difference is our braciole sauce can't be made with pure beef because of the bones and all that. So they don't put that into an effect. They don't want that. The FDA doesn't approve that. So we use pancetta. So it comes out a little smoky, but I actually enjoy the different taste of it. But the marinara is on. I love it. And the spicy marinara is great with fried calamari, also with mozzarella and carrozza. And the marinara sauce, you could just throw a little spaghetti.
You sell them in the
He's
store too, the
talking.
jars?
He's been talking about food all day.
Are they also available in the store too?
They're in some stores. We have
And you're
them in
in Angelo?
we have them in Angelo's,
In Angelo,
absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. We have them online. You can purchase them online. And they sell. They sell pretty well.
That's great.
Thank you.
And as far as, because you were talking before about specials, do you have any specials right now that we can be curious about as far as like your daily menu specials or anything?
Well, we're very known for our spadini, which is a spadini mozzarella with American cheese, battered, and then put in a special sauce. Oh, it's delicious. You have to share it because it's so filling. We also incorporated into the continental, which, by the way, I don't know if you know, but President Reagan ate at our restaurant.
Ooh.
I was a child, but in when
Were
was
you
it?
there now?
I was. March 14th, 1981. Former
1981.
President
You
Ronald
were a
Reagan
baby.
ate.
You were a baby.
I wasn't that much. I was a preteen, but I was there.
Yeah. Did you get to talk to him at least?
Yes, such a fabulous man. Wonderful. I mean, of course, I was more excited seeing the security German Shepherd. I'm pulling the ears of the dog.
You
My
had the
mother's
dog
like,
in the restaurant with him?
well, they have bomb security, and they needed all that. It was overwhelming. It was so amazing. But
That's right, somebody tried to shoot him one time,
well, the
right?
week after is when he got shot. Supposedly he was in the audience, but he couldn't get a clean shot that day. Thank God, knock wood.
Well, they tried to get him, wait, Reagan, didn't they try to get him when he came out of a place one time, they
It
tried to
was
shoot him?
2 weeks after Angelo's is when they attempted
wow.
the assassination.
So he came in with the dog and the security.
Yeah, there was hundreds and thousands of people there. Yeah, you couldn't get into the restaurant unless
That's
you had
incredible.
the tags
Yeah.
and stuff. And he actually had the spadini. He enjoyed it. It comes with the spadini mozzarella with the baked clams and shrimp aragonata.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I shouldn't even answer this question, because that'd be totally out of line.
Go for it.
Say what?
Go for it.
Go for it?
Tell it like it is.
There you go.
That's the name of my show. Did he pay?
Of course not.
All right, I'm just saying. So it was on the arm for this guy.
Not President Reagan.
Oh, President.
Maybe someone else. Maybe one of the newer ones.
Unbelievable. All right, so you got it on the arm. How many people did he come in with?
He came in with Senator Alphonse D'Amato, Penelope, which was his wife at the time, and a couple of other people that I don't remember their names. But
There was about 6, 7 people.
there was
Everybody
about
got it on
12
the
at
arm?
his table.
Everybody got it on the arm that night?
Absolutely. Well, back then, money was flying. Who cares?
Okay,
Everything
one other
was
question.
fun.
Totally out of line.
Go ahead.
Tell it like it is.
Absolutely. I will.
Right?
You got him rolling.
I turned the right key, right?
Yes, you
You
did.
did.
You got
You
all
did.
excited.
You did. Did you at least drop a tip?
You know that? I don't know.
Say what?
I don't know. It was 11. Oops.
It was what?
I wasn't born.
You told your age.
Oops.
Nothing.
I don't know. I was playing with the dog.
You're a baby.
I was a baby.
You still are a baby. You're just a big baby.
Yes,
That's it.
that's
Hey,
true.
Vinny's on your side. Hey, I told you this is going to be easy.
It is.
Oh,
Thank
that's
you.
great. I'm
Changing-
I'll figure that one out later. All right.
You also have a sister restaurant in Delray, Florida. Is that true? Delray Beach, Florida?
Yes, my uncle Gino opened up a restaurant in Delray Beach, Florida, called Tramonti, and that's
She
doing
did her
very well.
homework, see?
And my brother has a restaurant in Brooklyn.
Oh.
He has Ponte Vecchio, which is doing very well. It's in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Oh, that's great.
We're a family of restaurants.
Yeah, you are. You really are.
But none of them are named Angelos, are they?
No,
No.
there's only one motherboard.
Right.
Everybody can ride the coattails. Well, I could do that. It's family.
Was there any time that you wanted to expand maybe or see if the restaurant could become bigger as far as the property that you own currently? Or
As far as property, no, we're happy where our location is. As far as expanding, we get requests all the time. Why don't you come down to Miami, Vegas,
Oh, wow.
Chicago, Boston? But it would be wonderful. But all the boys in the family open up their own restaurants, and
that would be tough.
I want to
Are
stay.
they all doing good?
They're all doing very well. They're all doing very well, and I chose to stay with Angelo's. I didn't want to.
So you're a trooper.
Well, I'm old school. Don't fix it if it's not broken, and I
Absolutely.
want to carry on the family tradition and the family values and
The legacy.
The legacy, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to go open up another restaurant. It's hard to maintain what your parents put so many years into doing and keeping that going and alive and keeping the old traditions. Because although the other restaurants have opened up, they still put a little twist and twang to
Right.
it because it's either a neighborhood restaurant where they want to foo-foo it up a little bit, where we keep our brajol, marinara, a sorrentina. Like, we don't put very big specials on. It's like you go home to your mother's on Sunday, and Ma, I want meatballs. Ma, I want panzerotti, ballerisi, and that's it. That's what I want to keep. I want to keep it old school.
And consistent.
Correct.
I told her she did her homework. You see how much, she said, well, Mariana never called me.
Well,
I
also
said-
there
I
was
said,
so
"If
much
she didn't call you,
information
that means
online that
she knows enough about you.
She's good.
See? She's on the ball.
I never let down my guests. Don't you worry. You know that.
I know that. You're on top of everything. Remember that? You're on top of everything.
Always.
There you go. Now I'll tell you what we do have. We got a signal
Yes,
just
we
a few
did.
moments ago, which means we only have just a couple of minutes left, maybe a minute or two. And so while we're talking, all of a sudden a musical come on, which means it's the end, and then we'll say goodbye. But before that comes on, I want to say, in case we don't have the chance, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show tonight. This will go on YouTube.
Wonderful.
I will bring you the tape. I will personally bring you the tape.
Thank
Maybe
you.
we'll
Hopefully
both
bring
come in and have a
Mariana.
personal-
Yes, I
Miami
would
and
love to
Mariana.
come.
All
Absolutely.
right? Should we come in with
Thank you.
name tags and say Reagan or anything like that?
Well, I don't know. They might put a hit on you now.
Oh yeah, that might not be a good
Right.
idea.
But I want to thank you for having me.
Oh,
Yeah.
please. Been trying to get you. That ain't gonna sound right either.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get you to come on the show for the longest time, And
Well, now I feel bad. I should have came sooner, but
but it's okay. It's
Thank
okay.
you.
And
Well, it's worth the
now-
wait then, especially since we get so many tourists that come to the city in the summer. It's perfect
Correct.
timing as far as the promotion, the publicity.
And when we go on vacation or something like that, sometimes we do a rerun. Like
oh,
Yeah, we do.
wonderful.
we
We
do
do.
reruns. So if that happens, I'll let you know again.
Perfect.
Do you another question? Do you live in Manhattan?
I live in Brooklyn, Bensonhurst.
Oh,
Still
okay.
the original
Still
house.
there.
Naturally, I could have guessed that one. Right? Okay.
The accent.
All right.
The
Well, I will
accent.
definitely bring you the tape. Let you know when it's on YouTube. YouTube, that should be on within.
And the website of the restaurant is also on the
Right.
screen as well.
It'll be on the screen. So in other words, when this is shown on TV, it'll have the information of the restaurant.
It was a
Thank
pleasure,
you, Tina,
Mariana
so
and Vinny.
much.
Thank you.
Please visit Angelo's,
Yay.
everyone. Thank you so much.
Elizabeth Street, Little Italy. Hangs with his pals, yeah, that's where he'll be. It's Vinny, a friend of mine. Stand-up guy from the Lower East Side. Take it from me, he's one of a kind. It's Vinny Valentine.